So, from reading your book, it looks like you believe in Cialdini's law of reciprocity.
I'm a huge guilty.
He's awesome. How does the law of reciprocity work in social media?
Well, it works in a lot. It works in a lot of different ways, and the cultures are uniquely different in how it works. I'll give you a prime example. Let's take Twitter, right? What have we always told people you need to do if you want to get followers?
I don't know. You got
Follow.
to engage or follow, right?
You start following, right?
Yeah.
If you follow a number of people, you're going to get a number of people to follow you back.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Reciprocity works.
Yep.
And then start. Here's another thing that I find really interesting on Twitter is that if you start favoriting a person's tweets, they start favoriting yours. If you start retweeting, they start retweeting you. It's really interesting how that works in Twitter. Facebook is the same way. You start liking people's posts, they start liking your posts.
Yeah.
You start commenting, they'll comment. You start sharing, they'll share. You go to LinkedIn and you start commenting on people's long blog form. Guess what they do when you write a long blog? They come back and they comment on your long blog form.
Yeah.
So it's really, really very, very cool. And it's part of our human nature. It is. We're really, I don't know if it's that we want to feel guilty. I know Cialdini says something to the effect that maybe we feel a little guilty about not giving back something. But the research has been very clear in psychology that, if we give something first with no strings attached, generally people will give you back even more. And he cites a number of studies that have demonstrated where people would just give somebody a dollar Coca-Cola, right? And then they'd get done watching a film, they'd come out, and then they would ask those people who got the Coca-Cola if they'd be willing to buy some raffle tickets for a charity, and they end up spending so much more than it cost them for the Coke, right?
Yeah.
Versus the people who got nothing won't spend anything.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how it works, and it's part of our human nature to do so. I know it may sound manipulative, but we're not manipulating things. What we're doing here is we're just practicing goodwill. And I believe that reciprocity does come back, and it does, and it's demonstrated itself scientifically and personally.
I interviewed Dave Kirpin. I'm sure you know who Dave is, and Dave's become a buddy. But he told me in one of my interviews, it was in his book, that when they sent thank you cards to people, it was a donor company he was working with. When they sent thank you cards, they did a comparison. And 6 months later, they went back to people they sent them to, and they didn't send them to. And he said the first of all, the people they sent it to donated more, and they donated more dollars than these people here. So I mean, it's the same sort of concept, right? So it's crazy how that works.
It is crazy, but let me give you an example, real life example, because I know this has happened to you and every listener. Okay, or viewer. Christmas time comes, all right. And you have your Christmas list, and you go through your Christmas list of people, and you're going through the list, and you scratch somebody off because you haven't really seen them in a while, so you take them off the list.
Yep.
Inevitably, what happens, that person shows up at your door with a present. Okay?
Yep.
They show up at your door with the present, you scratch them off the list, you thank them, they go, and you go, oh crap.
Yeah.
Right? So what do? You pop open the present real quick because you want to see how much they spent on it, right? And you see that they spent like, $20, $25, whatever it was. So what do? Well, you go out and buy them a bottle of Dom Perignon because you feel guilty, and now you just spent $150 in compensation for a $25 gift.
Yep.
We do it. It's part of our human nature. We do it all the time.
All human nature, man. That's really what it comes down to. That's why you have a unique perspective on the social media coming from the psychology angle.